The rain began as Marcus Turner hurried down the busy downtown street, clutching his worn leather portfolio and checking his watch for the third time in 5 minutes. At 31, Marcus had been unemployed for 4 months, ever since the construction company where he worked as a project manager had closed unexpectedly. Today's interview at Harrison Development Group was his best hope in weeks. As a single father raising his 6-year-old daughter Emma, Marcus felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him with every unpaid bill that arrived in their mailbox. This interview could change everything for them, providing the stability and income they desperately needed. The rain intensified suddenly, transforming from a light drizzle into a heavy downpour that sent pedestrians scrambling for cover. Marcus quickened his pace, knowing he had exactly 12 minutes to reach the Harrison building for his 2 o'clock appointment. That was when he saw her. A woman in an elegant orange dress was standing beside a red sports car, her long dark hair now soaked from the rain. She was bent over slightly, one hand gripping the car for support while the other held what appeared to be a broken high heel. Even from a distance, Marcus could see her distress as she tried unsuccessfully to balance on one shoe while the rain continued to pour down on her. Marcus paused, his interview deadline weighing heavily on his mind. He had exactly 10 minutes now, and stopping to help would almost certainly make him late. But as he watched the woman struggle, something his late mother had always told him echoed in his thoughts. The measure of a man is not what he accomplishes for himself, but what he does for others when no one is watching. Without another moment's hesitation, Marcus jogged over to the stranded woman. "Excuse me, miss," he called out over the sound of the rain. "Are you all right? Do you need some help?" The woman looked up, her brown eyes reflecting both surprise and relief. Despite being caught in the downpour, she was strikingly beautiful, with a kind of natural elegance that suggested she was accustomed to more refined circumstances than standing barefoot on a rainy street. "I am afraid my heel broke right as this storm started," she explained, holding up the damaged shoe. "I have an important meeting in 15 minutes, and I cannot exactly walk into a boardroom like this." Marcus immediately knelt down in the rain, not caring that his interview suit was getting soaked. "Let me take a look. Sometimes these can be temporarily fixed." As he examined the broken heel, Marcus could see that the woman was genuinely distressed about more than just her shoe. There was something in her expression that suggested this meeting was crucial to her, just as his interview was to him. "I am afraid this heel is beyond repair," Marcus said gently, standing up. "But I have an idea. There is a shoe store 2 blocks from here. If we hurry, we might be able to get you something suitable." The woman looked at Marcus with astonishment. "That is incredibly kind, but I could not ask you to do that. You must have somewhere important to be." Marcus glanced at his watch. 7 minutes until his interview. If he left now and ran, he might still make it on time. But looking at this woman's genuine distress, he made a choice that would surprise even himself. "Nothing more important than helping someone who needs it," Marcus said with a smile. "My name is Marcus, by the way." "I am Sophia," she replied, her voice warm with gratitude. "And you may be saving my career right now." Marcus offered Sophia his arm for support, and together they hurried through the rain toward the shoe store. Along the way, Sophia tried to learn more about this Good Samaritan who had sacrificed his own schedule to help her. "What do you do for work, Marcus?" she asked as they walked quickly down the sidewalk. "I am between jobs at the moment," Marcus replied honestly. "Actually, I was supposed to be at a job interview right about now, but sometimes life has other plans." Sophia stopped walking so abruptly that Marcus nearly stumbled. "You are missing a job interview to help me." Marcus shrugged, though he felt a pang of anxiety about the opportunity he was likely losing. The interview was important, but some things matter more than personal advancement. "My daughter always asks me what kind of person I was each day when I pick her up from school. Today I want to be able to tell her I was the kind of person who helps others." Sophia stared at Marcus with an expression he could not quite read. There was something in her eyes that went beyond gratitude, something that looked almost like recognition. At the shoe store, Marcus helped Sophia select a pair of elegant black heels that would be appropriate for her meeting. When she reached for her wallet, Marcus had already handed his credit card to the cashier, despite the fact that he could barely afford the expense. "Marcus, I cannot let you pay for these," Sophia protested. "It is my pleasure," Marcus insisted. Consider it an investment in whatever important meeting you have. I have a feeling it is going to go very well." As they left the store, Sophia turned to Marcus with tears mixing with the raindrops on her cheeks. "I do not know how to thank you properly. You have shown me more kindness than I have experienced in a very long time." Marcus smiled, though he felt the weight of his missed opportunity settling in his chest. "Seeing you able to make your meeting is thanks enough. Now go show them what you are made of." Sophia hesitated for a moment, then reached into her purse and pulled out a business card. "Marcus, would you mind giving me your contact information? I would like to find a way to properly repay your kindness." Marcus wrote his phone number on the back of a receipt from the shoe store. "You do not owe me anything, Sophia. Just promise me you will pass along the kindness to someone else who needs it." 3 days later, Marcus received a phone call that would change his life forever. "Hello, Marcus. This is Sophia Harrison. We met in the rain the other day." Marcus remembered her immediately. "Of course. How did your meeting go?" "Actually, that is what I am calling about," Sophia said, and Marcus could hear the smile in her voice. "Marcus, I think there may have been some confusion the other day. You see, I am Sophia Harrison, the Chief Executive Officer of Harrison Development Group." Marcus felt the world stop around him. Harrison Development Group? But that is where I was supposed to interview. "Yes," Sophia confirmed gently. "You missed your interview with my company to help me get to a board meeting where I was fighting to keep my position as CEO. Your kindness that day did not just help me make the meeting on time, it reminded me of the kind of character I want in the people who work for our company." Marcus sat down heavily, overwhelmed by the revelation. "I had no idea." "Marcus, I have reviewed your resume and qualifications. More importantly, I have seen your character firsthand. If you are still interested in working for Harrison Development Group, I would like to offer you a position as a senior project manager, with a starting salary that is 20% higher than what was originally posted for the role you applied for." Over the following months, Marcus thrived in his new position at Harrison Development Group. Sophia had not just given him a job, she had given him an opportunity to advance his career in ways he had never imagined possible. But more than professional success, Marcus had gained something unexpected. He and Sophia had developed a friendship built on mutual respect and shared values. She often sought his input on projects, and he found her to be not just an excellent leader, but a genuinely caring person who had never forgotten what it felt like to need help. 6 months after that rainy day, Marcus and Sophia stood together at the groundbreaking ceremony for a new affordable housing development that Marcus was managing for the company. Emma was there too, wearing a small hard hat that Sophia had given her and beaming with pride at her father's accomplishments. "You know," Sophia said to Marcus as they watched Emma play with the other children at the ceremony, "I never properly thanked you for what you did that day." Marcus smiled, looking at the successful project they had built together and the meaningful work he was doing every day. "You have thanked me every day since then by giving me the opportunity to provide for my daughter and to do work that makes a difference." Sophia shook her head. "You still do not understand, do you? I did not give you anything, Marcus. You earned everything you have through your character and your capabilities. I simply recognized what was already there." As the sun set over the construction site where families would soon build new lives, Marcus reflected on how a single choice to help a stranger had transformed everything. He had thought he was sacrificing his future that rainy afternoon, but instead he had been building it. Sometimes, Marcus realized, the most important interviews are not the ones we schedule in boardrooms, but the ones life gives us on rainy streets when we think no one is watching. And sometimes, the greatest opportunities come not from pursuing them, but from choosing kindness over convenience and discovering that the universe has been watching all along. The rain that day had soaked his clothes and made him miss his appointment, but it had also washed away his old limitations and revealed the path to a future he could never have imagined. And it had all begun with a simple decision to help someone who needed it, even when it cost him something important. That, Marcus had learned, was how real success was built. Not through stepping over others, but through lifting them up, and trusting that kindness always finds its way back to those who give it freely.